Hi everyone. This is a very exciting week in the history of liturgy in the United States of America, and it's really a great week for us to be considering ritual. So it certainly has flavored my presentation of the unit when I put it up on the course webpage, but I know that it'll also seed our discussions as we go along. I was privileged to be a commentator on New York Morn, the Time Warner cable channel, for the multi-religious service that took place at the 9/11 Museum down at the World Trade Center. And I'd known for weeks that I had that responsibility, so you have to go into your own research and find out what the service is going to be all about. And I'd done that research. I found out who was in charge of it, and he was willing to share the documents and the list of speakers. So I'd done my research. I knew who each of the people was, and I'd really prepared it. The only thing that I didn't have was the Pope's remarks. But right before we went on air, they gave us an English translation of the remarks, which I've scanned and put into the files for you as well. So, I knew intellectually what was going to happen in that ritual. But I was blown away by what happened. So as soon as I saw all of the colorful garb that the people were wearing, and I heard them praying in their sacred language as well as in translation, paired, I was just transfixed by it all. And it still took me by storm, even though I knew all of the words that were going to be spoken. I had no concept of how the ritual was going to unfold. And for me, I love the Pope's remarks, but the children singing, "Let there be peace on earth." There's a big difference between reading in the program. The New York City Youth Chorus will sing "Let there be peace on earth," which, I must have sung 100 times and heard maybe 500 times in my life, but never like that. The children just came out and they stood together holding hands. They were dressed so beautifully in all those other colors, their faces beaming. It was extraordinary. And that's what ritual can do, at its best. And in a sense, that wasn't, as we describe it, it wasn't a ritual that's a repeated ritual, but it was drawn from each of those religious communities' sacred texts and prayers, molded together in really a beautiful, beautiful prayer for peace. I'll never forget it. Even though I didn't get to see this Pope in person, I did get to meet St. John Paul II, but I have not yet met Pope Francis. We live in hope. We live in hope. So I know all of this will flavor our discussions, and it certainly is going to give you a frame of reference from which you're going to engage in this week's readings. So in the files, I have put the religious service, in particular, the multi-religious service, but I've also included a link to the United States Catholic Conference website where all of the rituals can be, if you want to refer to any of them. Also, there will be, I'll put in the files the document that you need in order to prepare your second reflection paper. Oops. Turn that one off. So we'll talk more about it during the course of the next week's units, but I'll put the document there. And it's a participative observation in a ritual or in a liturgy. So those of you who regularly worship at one celebration, you might want to go someplace else Or, Patrick, I know you play the 5:30 Mass, you might want to go to the 11 one Sunday. And I know one of you is a minister, you might want to go someplace else as a participant, just so that you can really be an observer. And sometimes we're more careful observers in something that's not our everyday liturgy, our everyday pattern of ritual. We see something because it's done differently at another place. I know we've read that from Sister Teresa, as she sees so many things that are different from her own culture or her own experience. The participant observation ought to be easy for Teresa to do. So the unit is posted in the file folders, in the content folder. The readings, they're all in the course outline, but I'll replace them there in the unit. And I hope you have a good week. Try to pace yourselves and try to make a little time for this each day so that it's not overwhelming. And those of you who need to catch up, find a way to catch up. As always, email me, call me, text me, post me on Facebook, whatever you need in order to get some help. So have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.